All right. So my name is Krista Latchaw. Nice to meet you. I want to say thank you so much for being here. This is the 2020 to 2021 Capital District Club Leadership Education Session. So thank you so much for coming. I'm going to be the host tonight. We have got our wonderful CLE education team, and I am the education coordinator this year, but our team is going to give you some information this year about the Capital District. So we're very excited that you're in your new positions for the upcoming year, and so we're going to give you a little bit more information about the Capital District, as well as just pertinent topics that you should know throughout the year to make your transition a little bit easier. So lots of education. We're going to spend about an hour. There's a lot of topics. So we want to make sure that we do this well. We're recording this session. I'm going to scroll through the document that we have prepared for you on the screen, and I'll share that in just a minute. Other ground rules are that please microphones and your phones on mute. This is very, very important so everybody can hear everything that's going on. Okay, and I'm going to monitor the chat. You might see the Zoom chat on the bottom of your screen or on the right hand of your screen. So ask us questions at any time. I'm going to move through the presenters as well. And also, we're just going to make sure that if you have a question, that gets answered. If there's no questions, or if there's other questions that we don't get to, we'll send out a Q&A document afterwards.
Krista, you can mute everybody at one time if you want to.
Okay. Yes, and I'm going to go through and I'll mute people as well as I'm not talking. So, but thank you so much again for being here. We wish you the best of luck in your year next year for your new position. And we very much appreciate the job that you're about to do. So thank you so much from our team. So let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to go through. We are going to go through the document that we have prepared for you. So this document is on the education site for the Capital District, and it's going to go through some of the main topics that we're going to chat about, goals, position information, and also lots of these other pages. So hold on, I'm going to share my screen once again. There we go. Oh. So just to get you all acclimated with what the Capital District looks like, we have clubs in Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. We're over 100 years old. There's also about 6 regions. There's 17 divisions. And on this first page, you're going to see the executive officers and lieutenant governors and regional trustees for next year. So we've got our district governor coming in next year, Dennis Baugh. We've got Elena Gardner for governor-elect. Jeffrey Wolf is the district secretary and treasurer. And David Laurie will be your immediate past governor in the 2020-2021 year. So you'll also see your regional trustees and lieutenant governors by division. This is going to be a really good resource for you just to make sure that you know who people are. The other thing about this document, which you will get, is that if I click on a link or a name here that's underlined in blue, it's going to either email. So that's going to email me if somebody needs to get a hold of me. Or I'm going to go down here, and I've got the Capital District Kiwanis website as a link in blue here. It's going to take me to the place that I'm supposed to go to per this document. So I wanted to see the main page of the Capital District site. So just know that all the information within this document here that you will be getting, you can click on links, and click on names, and it's going to put you in contact with these people. So that's a pretty powerful document. So that is the hierarchy of the district. We just wanted you to see that. That's also on the district website. So just make sure that you're familiar with this, and that will make your job a lot easier as well. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to turn the stage over to your governor-elect for next year, Dennis Baugh, and he's going to talk about his governor goals for this year.
Parker's not in the house.
Oh, and again, if you are not on mute, please mute yourself. Okay, Dennis, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Krista. And again, thank everybody for showing up tonight. It's a privilege to be able to speak before you. Again, like everybody, we wish we were in person and could be together and with our camaraderie and our networking and just being together. I'd like to just really quickly go over what my goals are going to be. You can see them on the screen. My theme for next year is going to be spread the word. I really want to see everybody start putting more articles in the Capital Kiwanian. The only way we can grow is to make sure people know who we are and know what we do. So it's up to us to be sure that happens. My 4 goals, the first one is membership and engagement. And as it states, we're going to build, retain, and support a growing Kiwanis membership network. Some of the things we need to do, we need to look at how to form non-traditional club formats. We get in a rut sometimes and meet out at the same time, same place, same station, but not all of our potential members can meet at that time. So each club needs to look at themselves and figure out if they're doing the best for their community in order to get new members. I mentioned communications with the newsletter and my theme of spreading the word. The other way of spreading the word in communications is having a good signature project. If you don't understand what a signature project is, you can look on the Kiwanis website, and it has a very good explanation. Essentially, it's that major project you do for the community that helps serve the kids of the community, and also a way that you show the people you need members and you can recruit members through that service or signature project. The third goal is with service leadership programs. Most of us, or most of the clubs do have a service leadership program that they sponsor. We call them SLPs. But what I'd like to see and I'd like to encourage is for more active involvement with the SLPs by the club. Sometimes the key clubs and builders clubs and CKIs don't even know that a Kiwanis club exists. And that's our fault, not theirs as much. But we've talked to the governors of both of those organizations, and they're all on agreement that we need to work together. One of my goals for next year will be to increase our action clubs in the Capital District by 10. If you're not familiar with an action club, it's a group of adults with disabilities. They form their own club, they have their own elections, and they go out and do service projects and fundraisers just like a regular club would do. It's kind of embarrassing to say that we only have about 17 clubs throughout the district, where I know other districts have that many clubs in their own division. So I really would like to see us get more action clubs. Jennifer Hitchcock is the administrator, and she is more than willing to work with you and help you and answer any questions. I have also helped open an action club in Harrisonburg, and we have a very good resource here that is willing to talk with you as well. The fourth goal is leadership education. And this is one of the primary goals of President-elect Art Riley, who is a member of our Westminster Club in our district. He will become president October 1st of Kiwanis International, and he very much wants Kiwanis International to become a leader in providing means for people to become better leaders, to educate our leaders, and to create resources and pathways for future and emerging leaders throughout our organization. The other thing, we need to make sure that we provide more education. And I've challenged Krista to make sure that we expand the leadership, our club leadership education program to include more than just our secretaries and treasurers. This year, as some of you have participated, Kiwanis International's leadership guide includes presidents, secretaries, treasurers, and membership chairs. I'd like to close by saying thank you for stepping up to a position of trust in your club. I wish you the best of luck during your year, and I hope you will find this training useful. I'm always available to reach me, and as Krista said, you can just tap the link that you originally saw, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions at a later time. With this, I'd like to, again, thank you for stepping up. I'd like to now turn the floor over to Ron McCallum, who will talk to you more about the role of the president and the role of the secretary. Thank you and best of luck again.
Thank you, Dennis. My name is Ron McCallum. I'm the Southeast Regional Trustee, and I'm also my club secretary. So going to talk about being a club president. And one thing I'd like to do is encourage everybody, if you don't have a copy yet, either go online and download a copy of the leadership guide. If you haven't seen it, it's on one of the links that Chris has put up there. And go out and get one, because it's going to be, if you pardon the expression, your Bible for the next year. I want to congratulate all the club presidents. And as you know, as a club president, you're in the highest elected office that your club can bestow on you. It's a great honor, but it comes with some great responsibilities. In fact, one of the biggest responsibilities is you are the public face of your club. Whatever goes on with Kiwanis or whatever goes on with your club, you're out there. You're the one handing out the checks and everything else. What you need to do is get a good program put together. We'll talk about that more in a bit. But the main thing you want to do is increase the membership experience for all of your club members, as well as increase your club's service in the local community. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the key responsibilities, which are listed on the chart here, except I do want to kind of foot stomp a couple of them. If you go down to the fourth bullet, it says facilitate fun and educational and efficient meetings. Now, the best way to do this is to make sure you keep your meetings fun to attend, give them a good reason to come back, members a good reason to come back. Another important thing is to keep them on time. And we start on time and end on time. Quick example, we've got one member in our home club here in Middlesex who, when it gets to be close to 7:30, our normal quitting time, he will start to stare at the president, and then he'll start this number, tapping on his watch. And he says, "Hey, it's time to quit. It's time to quit." So those are a couple of things you got to think about. Don't run your meetings long over the expected time. People have other things in their life, and let them get on to it. If you run down to the seventh bullet there, talking about increasing club membership, the future of Kiwanis and the future of your community and the kids in your community depends on you getting out there and working with your club to increase your membership. I think the figure is something like 18%. It's 18 to 20% attrition every year, just by people moving, dying, and other things that happen in life. So you have to be recruiting at least 20% of your current membership to maintain the membership that you've got right now. If you drop down to the ninth bullet, it says promote interclub or division activities like DCMs. That's your division council meetings. One way to do that is kill two birds with one stone and organize an interclub with 3 or 4 members, or whatever the criteria is, for your club to go attend a DCM, your division council meeting, and kill 2 birds with one stone, making an interclub. Before moving on, I do want to add one thing that's not on the list here, and it's one I thought about, and it's as a district trustee, one of the new bullet, if I were writing this whole thing all over again, I would say keep your lieutenant governor and your district trustee informed on both your successes and your challenges. Like they say, bad news doesn't get better with time. So I'll give you a couple of examples of some bad news that if you're a lieutenant governor or trustee, you don't want to hear about after it's too late. So moving on real quickly to the key reminders for the presidents. If you look down at the third bullet there, Kiwanis Youth Protection, you're going to hear a lot about that. It's a very important topic right now. We got another speaker coming up, Josh Hiscox, who's going to talk about that. Moving on to the next bullet. This is an important one. Make sure that you file your IRS and your corporation, or your state corporation commission, the annual filings. Downside of this is if you don't do it, you can lose your tax exempt status for your club. I don't think anybody wants to do that. And that could be whether it's a 501c3 or 501c4 status, could be gone. And to get it back, it's going to cost you at least $600 plus possible other fees and charges. Let's see. Skipping down the sixth bullet, district conventions, the mid-year convention, mid-year conference. Those things are all fun, and they're not only a lot of fun, but it's a great chance to learn a lot about what's going on in Kiwanis from other Kiwanians. And let's see, that next item is on foundations, contributing to foundations. That should be in there somewhere. Yeah, it's up there somewhere. Oh, there it is, last bullet in that section. You know, a lot of clubs, in my experience, and particularly even my own club, tend to have kind of a very local focus. Our interest ends at the county line, but I think in the past 3 months, we've all learned from COVID-19 what happens around the world, or halfway around the world, can have a direct impact on those of us right here. So we got to broaden our focus a little bit. Finally, the last bullet on there is about a planning conference. Yes, you should do it. It's on how to do it is right in the leadership guide, page 21. It tells you how to run this meeting, get you off to a great start for your year as a club president, and to make your year much more enjoyable if you get your act together to start with like that. And one thing you need to do in there is look at how your club is going to implement the goals, the district goals that Governor Dennis just spoke about. Finally, you need to do this before September 30th. So the first meeting of the new year, new Kiwanis year, your board can vote to approve the budget. And that's all I have at this time, except I'll turn it over to the next speaker. His name's Ron McCallum, and he's going to break out his guide here and tell you all about the secretary, which is on pages, excuse me, I turn the page on that one. There, Krista's got it. This is one I could talk about forever. I've been a club secretary now for 8 years. I mean, I know there's longer, others have done it longer, but remind you, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, use the chat session and chat section and send a thing to Krista, and at the end of the meeting, we'll hopefully get a chance to address some of those questions. In the club, the club secretary is the master of all the details. Your role in handling all the club affairs, and board meetings, and regular club meetings, reports, the correspondence, records, and all that kind of stuff. My unbiased opinion, being a club secretary, as I said for a while, it's arguably the most important position in the club. I'm biased. But just as the club president is the public face of the club secretary is the one that keeps all the wheels turning and the trains on time behind the scenes. The key responsibilities and duties of the secretary are covered in pages 31 to 36. So I'm not going to run through those, but I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about the key reminders there for the secretaries. These are important dates, and ones they can be very costly if you don't pay attention to them. One of the first things you'll get in the habit of doing, I hope, is getting your secretary's monthly report for your club submitted by the 10th of the month. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Nobody dies if you don't put it in, but that's a good target, and you should get them in. And the information that you do put in there, it is used everywhere from your lieutenant governor through the district board on up to KI, and even the KI board looks at them and tallies a lot of that stuff. So the membership rosters is the next item. They should be updated throughout the year as changes are made. If a member is added or dropped, you should get them in there at that time. And what's particularly important is during the September and October timeframe, which is still about 60 days off, but it's very important that you get the thing updated because on the 10th of November, or excuse me, 10th of October, you need to submit it to Kiwanis, and Kiwanis then will invoice your club for all of the members that are on the roster as of 1st of October. So that's important that you get that thing in on the 10th, because it's going to be based on the bill, and that hopefully your roster is up to date as of the 1st of October. As I said with the president, the IRS forms 990, 990N, 990EZ, they need to be turned in by the 15th of February every year. If you don't do it, I think they let you miss one, maybe two, but after that, they're going to suspend your tax exempt status, and it's expensive, and it's a real pain in the butt to try to get it back. Next thing is, how long do you need to keep your records? This question comes up quite often. 7 years is the answer. Skipping down to the 6th bullet on club elections. This is important. Getting this report in is quite important, because this is what drives the planning for not only for your club for the coming year, but also planning for club leadership education and the type of training that we're going through for the incoming officers tonight. Secretaries can also use the, I'm not going to read that. Anyhow, this thing is the last bullet there. It talks about delegate forms. These are required if you're going to send, your club's going to send any delegates to either the district convention or the international convention. If they want to be able to vote, they're going to have a credentials committee there, and they're going to check to make sure that you've submitted the proper paperwork to get done. Last thing here, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go into the online reporting tonight. There's a lot of stuff there, a lot of information. There's 2 links that Krista has in there on online reporting. And if you just go to one of those and click on it, it'll show you a lot of what you need to know. And if you have any specific questions beyond that, please email me at using the link Ron McCallum on the 2nd page of tonight's handout. And that's all I've got. And I'm not sure who takes the ball from me, but they've got it. Back to you, Krista.
All right. Thank you, Ron. We're actually going to go to Jeffrey Wolf. He's going to go over the treasurer information and also membership committee information.
Great. Thanks, Krista. Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to talk to you tonight about the club treasurer position, as well as the membership committee chair position. Just really quick, I am also coming in as the district secretary treasurer, filling the very big shoes from Tom Varner. So I will mention that I am also a resource to the club leaders. If you have questions, unable to reach a lieutenant governor for some reason, or your trustee, especially for the secretaries and treasurers of the clubs, if you've got an administrative question, I'm always available to you at the district office. Focusing on the responsibilities of the treasurer for each club, I am not going to cover what's listed on the worksheet here. I'm just going to highlight a few things that I think are very important for treasurers. I think most of us understand what the role of the club treasurer is, but just a few things of highlight. So first and foremost, it's the annual audit of the club's books. I draw your attention to that. It's listed under key dates for treasurers. But this basically is an important element that the club needs to make sure it completes every year. The club needs to do one of 2 things each year, and that is make sure that their books are audited either by a qualified accounting firm, which is the expensive option, or as provided by your club bylaws, a standing financial review committee within the club itself. That is the option that most clubs choose, and so that is probably the one that your club will probably be operating under. Your bylaws will tell you which has been selected. It also determines who can serve on that financial review committee. So your club policies actually dictate that needs to be at least 2 or more qualified members of your club, and they cannot be board members. So keep that in mind, treasurers, that you need to make sure that you have an active financial review committee, somebody who can go through your books each year and make sure they're correct. Ron has already mentioned, both in the president and secretary responsibilities, the filing of the 990, as well as the club's corporate annual filing to whichever state your club resides in. I will mention it again because it's actually the responsibility of the treasurer. The secretary and the president are both listed to, it says, ensure that the filings have been done, but the person who actually has to do it is, in fact, the treasurer. It's not a It's not a coincidence that it's listed under all three, because we really want to make sure that those are done each year. So you're filing both to the IRS as well as to the State Corporation Commission of your respective state. Incredibly important. Finally, the last thing I'll note is, and this is always covered in the normal CLE, but I want to make sure it's covered here as an addendum, and that is the difference between the administrative account and the service account that each club should be operating. This comes up every year when we conduct CLEs in person. There is always confusion about the fact that the club is supposed to maintain two separate accounts, one for the administrative expenses of the club, and one for the service account, or fundraising, or service projects. Every club calls it something slightly different, but it's effectively the service account. The differentiation here is that the source of administrative account, a source of funds for the administrative account, is in fact money that comes from the Kiwanis family. So if your club is collecting dues or meals or membership fees of any kind, or assessing your members, that money goes into administrative. Anything you collect from outside of your club is a service account item. It has to be used for service projects of the club. Now, there are a couple of important exceptions to that. First, and this is again important to both the secretaries and the treasurers, is that your liability insurance payment to Kiwanis International, so that portion of your KI dues that goes to liability insurance, that can come from your service account, and absolutely should come from your service account, because it is obviously harder to find money for the administrative account. It is easier to get money for your service account. Take the money for the liability insurance, since it protects outside of the club. It's third-party liability insurance, and we'll touch more on that later. But also make sure you take your criminal background check money for your SLP advisors, and I know that Josh will touch on that later. That money can also come out of the service account, because again, it is meant to protect the outside world effectively. So just keep that in mind. If you have questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out. And with that, I will. There's a lot of interesting information in the leadership guide that starts on page 37 for treasurers. But with that, I will move on to the membership committee chair. And I am thrilled to see the membership committee chair being added to the leadership guide. It is extremely important that there is a designated person in each club responsible for membership, both recruitment and retention. The first thing I'll point out here is that it's super important that this is not one person. It should never fall on one person within a club to be responsible for membership. That person should be a coordinator of an actual functioning committee. So if your club has no other committees functioning, membership is going to be an important one. I ask that you make sure that that committee is supported by the board with their activities. The committee should be meeting now, and they should be meeting to set goals. So this is the appropriate time of year for the incoming membership committee to meet, to set SMART goals for the year, so ones that can be achieved, that are measurable, timely, realistic, and have actual milestones that can be supported by the board. That's extremely important. I'll point out that one of the activities of the membership committee is to conduct surveys, both membership satisfaction and community surveys. These are extremely important to making sure that the programs your club is having and the service you're doing and the format of your club is what the membership wants, and not simply what the club has always done. Most importantly, I like to say about this, be sure that if your club does any surveys, that they're willing to take action on the results. There's no point in getting feedback from your members if you're not going to make changes based on what they say. Membership committee chairs should not be afraid to try new recruitment ideas, things that the club has never done before. We only succeed through trying new things, not by doing the same thing over and over again. And don't forget, it's mentioned on the bottom there that satellite groups are a great option if your club has challenges with its meeting time or with the meal. If that's hampering your recruitment efforts, I strongly recommend that you consider a satellite group that might meet at a different time, does not have a meal, focuses on hands-on service, whatever that differentiation is. Finally, I was asked to make sure that I do a plug there for the district membership committee under the leadership of Karen Schumacher from the Williamsburg Club. They are extremely active. They are a great resource, and they will be sending out monthly newsletters to membership committee chairs. So if you have questions or you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out to them, either Karen or the regional member in the committee from your region. And with that, I will turn it back over.
All right, thank you so much, Jeff. We're actually going to go now to Eric Lamb. He's going to talk to you about Lieutenant Governor support and the Capital District committees. Eric. Eric, you're on mute.
There we go. Hope that's better. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. So your lieutenant governor should be your liaison between your local club, the Capital District, and Kiwanis International. Use them for their experience and their guidance. Pick their brains, ask lots of questions. What I always say is no question is a bad question. More often than not, your LTG has been in a situation like your club is in. They have experience. There's no need to be ashamed about your having a struggle. Ask for help, ask for advice. That's what they're there for. You should be having a division council meeting at least once a quarter. More is better. I urge you all that if your lieutenant governor is not reaching out to you as often as you would like, reach out to them. I always like to tell my club and my clubs that I work with, be proactive, not reactive. So always try to head off a problem. So look ahead. Of course, more division council meetings than less are always better. If you have items that you would like to discuss at your division council meeting, please let your lieutenant governor know and ask them to put that on the agenda. The lieutenant governor are also responsible for helping to open new clubs, like Dennis and Jeff have both mentioned. Those clubs don't always have to be a brand new Kiwanis club. They can be a satellite club. Here's a pretty good example. Charlottesville has 3 sections to our club. We have a dinner club, a lunch club, and a young professionals club. They all function slightly differently because everyone has a different need that they need to be met as a Kiwanis member. But we need to be flexible to meet incoming members' needs and not try to make them fit into our current mold. Your lieutenant governor should help you focus on growth and also, more importantly, the impact you are having on your community. Each club, I suggest that you, with your lieutenant governor, should evaluate club projects at least once every 2 years. And here's a prime example. I was working with a club recently. They were doing a community activity that they'd been doing for years and years. They put in over 100 hours in planning, volunteering day of and after work to give a total of $2,000 to the community. Could that 100 hours of time been spent on a better activity that could have brought in $30,000 for the community? So be open about new activities, be open about construction and thinking about new ideas. And with that, I'm going to move down to the Capital District Committees page. The first section here is what I like to call the everyday work of Kiwanis chart. So all of our clubs have bylaws. We all have SLPs we work with. We all have membership needs. We all have PR needs. We all have service needs. These folks listed here in blue are your experts in those sections. If you need help from your lieutenant governor and they're not reaching back to you, these are the people that you should reach to, okay? I talk to Joe Stankus often. I talk with Karen Schumacher often. So these are the folks that you should be reaching to help you with your issues. It's going down to the next section, Krista. These are the folks that are the district staff people. So if you have questions about finances and treasurer secretary stuff, ask Jeff. If you have issues about risk management or insurance, April's going to be your person. Youth protection, it's going to be Josh. So these links, just like we talked about earlier, these links are going to be active and they can take you right to the email or the contact information for the appropriate person. So one thing I would stress about both these sections, you as incoming new folks aren't expected to know everything. That's why some of us are here to answer questions. So please, 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 feel free to reach out. And I'll turn it over to Avante for SLPs.
Thank you, Eric. Avante, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Tonight I have the pleasure to talk to you all about SLPs, which stands for Sponsored Leadership Programs. So those are all of the programs that Kiwanis sponsors. So hopefully your club sponsors one or more of the SLPs that are on your screen right now. So I'm just going to quickly go through them all and give you all some information about them. So the first one is Action Club, which Dennis talked about earlier. An Action Club is for adults with disabilities. It is probably the only branch of Kiwanis where if you go to their meetings and ask who wants to be president next, the entire group will raise their hand and ask they want to be president. So it is a great group of individuals. If you haven't been to an Action Club meeting or you don't sponsor one, I strongly recommend that you do so. Circle K International, CKI, is the college branch of Kiwanis. I was a member of CKI back when I was in college as well. It is the branch of Kiwanis that has the most service hours per member. So this group loves to serve. And so hopefully if you have a college nearby, your Kiwanis Club sponsors a CKI club. Key Club is next. That is the high school branch. That's where I entered the Kiwanis family 17 or something years ago. And that is for high school students. They have 250,000 members in Key Club. And so they have more members in Key Club than the other branches combined. So hopefully your Kiwanis Club sponsors a Key Club, maybe multiple Key Clubs. But they're great to work with. And then Builders Club is for middle school and K-Kids is for elementary school. What's really cool about those two programs is those are programs that if you sponsor a Key Club, they can help you with. A lot of high schools are right next door to middle schools, and those high school Key Clubs like to partner up with their next door neighbors at their middle school level. Also within K-Kids has a couple programs. You don't have to have a K-Kids to have these programs, but a lot of them intertwine together. And those two programs are called Bug and Terrific Kids. Bug is bring up grades, and then Terrific Kids is the overall building good character, responsibility, that type of thing. So those are two programs that if your Kiwanis Club doesn't sponsor a K-Kids, they can still sponsor a small program like that. So those links on the right will take you to those their corresponding websites, and the page previous to this will tell you exactly who oversees those committees for the Kiwanis district level. So another thing that's really neat about both CKI and Key Club is they have a district level just like Kiwanis does. So they have a district board, they have a district governor, and a district secretary treasurer, just like we do, and those are their websites and their corresponding administrators. If you are looking for an easy way to get involved with your SLPs, I recommend the Eliminate Project, always, because that is our Kiwanis Family Worldwide Initiative. It is also the Key Club District Project this year. So if you sponsor Key Clubs, you're going to be participating with their district project as well as participating with the amazing Eliminate Project. So that is a surefire, easy way if you are not already doing something for the Eliminate Project or with your SLPs. This is a great opportunity to do that. There are a lot of virtual ways that you can participate with it. I really encourage you to do that. I also encourage you all, as one of the first things you do as a club leader is to reach out to your faculty advisors for any of the SLPs that you sponsor currently. I'm a faculty advisor of my Key Club, and I can tell you it's probably the most time-consuming, challenging thing that I've ever done in Kiwanis. So make sure that you are strongly supporting your faculty advisors. letting them know what Kiwanis is. Sometimes faculty advisors, they don't actually even know Kiwanis is a thing. So make sure that you reach out to them and connect with them. A great way to do that is to give them an honorary membership, which costs $8. You're basically buying them the magazine. But induct them, give them one of the many pins that we have laying around, and just let them know that Kiwanis is there for them if they need it, especially going into next school year. They definitely are going to want to hear from you and have your support. So that is everything I have on SLPs. I'm happy to answer any questions in the chat or anything like that, but it is the greatest thing we do in Kiwanis. So if you don't sponsor any now, make sure you do. If you do sponsor, sponsor more. Thank you.
Avanti, that was great, very lively. Very good, very good. All right, so next we have district communications with Catherine Cummins. And so I also wanted to say, Catherine, in one of the chats over here, someone said that you have answered every question that this person had, and you're a great LTG. So we're looking forward to your communications piece here. Nice work. And if you're on mute, go ahead and unmute yourself. Do we have Catherine?
Still on the call.
Catherine, are you here? All right. Well, interrupt me, Catherine, if you're there. But just so you know, I'll just take this one real quick. There are many communications that we have here in the Capital District. So number one being our website, and I will put a plug in for the website. It is really good. A lot of the information that we got here came from that website, and I bet that people don't look at that as often as they probably should. So take a look. Here's the link. It's a good one. There's a bunch of good information out there. You can also see some Facebook feeds. You can see what people are saying. You know, it's really good. There's also communications based upon board operations. There is a distribution. There's a board operations link right here. It's going to tell you all the information about what the board is doing, the minutes, things like that. So check it out. You know, if you want to see what's happening at the district level, it's open to everyone, and they always post the minutes. So that's a really good resource there as well. And I hope you all take a look at the Capital Kiwanian. There's links or stories and articles about different things that you should know. So that's a good way just to kind of keep up with what's going on in the district, as well as, you know, you can see some of your service projects there, or people that are getting recognized. So this one's really good to just take a look at. It's full color. You can download it. It's great. The other thing, again, you can also kind of take a look at some of the social media to see what people are doing throughout the district. So if you guys have things to post, you know, let us know. We want to hear from you. So that's some communications for you. I know Catherine said her speaker wasn't working, so she wanted to talk tonight, but she'll get there sometime. But after this communications piece, we're going to actually go to a guest speaker, which is Jen Hiscock, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about the Capital District Foundation. Jen.
Absolutely. Thank you, Krista, and congratulations to everybody on becoming an officer for your club. On behalf of the Capital District Foundation, the entire board looks forward to working with you. The District Foundation is a separate board of directors. There is a division director from each of your local divisions that sit on the board. We also have a president, vice president, and then an executive secretary and a treasurer. You are more than welcome to come to any of our meetings. We meet in the mornings on the same days that the Kiwanis board meets in the afternoon. So please certainly get involved and learn more about what the foundation does. We would love to educate our members. The best way to do that is to invite your foundation's division director to your DCM meeting. If you are an LTG or if you are a club president and you want us to come to your club meeting, we have presentations that are created to share with your members so that you know what we do. A lot of people think of the foundation as the Ducky Derby, and while that's a huge part of what we do so that we can fundraise for our now 9 pediatric trauma centers, the Children's Inn in Bethesda being the newest one that we've added, we also do a lot more. One of my favorite projects in being a director on the foundation is getting to read through our club grant applications. The foundation has 2 funding cycles, one in the fall and one in the spring, where Kiwanis clubs can apply to receive matching grants for your local community service projects. Our communities need us now more than ever, so I encourage you to look at the foundation's website and read through the requirements for a grant and consider if that would assist your club in the 2020 to 2021 service year. We also help provide the financial assistance for the Teenager of the Year Award, as well as scholarships for our Key Club students, our CKI students, and then we also help fund a portion of the Circle K budget annually as well. So the District Foundation is alive, thriving, but we can't do it without the support of our clubs. Thank you to all of you who purchased Ducky Derby tickets, and thank you to the clubs who do provide an annual donation. We ask that to support the foundation and to be a distinguished club, you give your annual gift of at least $3 per member. It goes a long way, and we would love to see 100% participation district-wide. That would be phenomenal. We also have some ways to recognize your members. You start office on October 1, but September 30th, 2021 will be here before we know it. And there are a variety of ways to recognize your members and club officers that also provide a donation to the foundation, whether it be life memberships, memorial donations, or even our tablet of honor. All of those are on our website, and we'd be more than happy to answer questions that you have about those recognition opportunities. So reach out to your division's director, and thank you, Krista, for allowing the foundation to have a spotlight this evening.
You bet. Thanks, Jen. All right, we're going to go to your partner in crime, Josh.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk about youth protection. And it's a pretty important topic, and I'm appreciative that there's a time carved out this evening to share a little bit. Kiwanis International takes the protection of the youth we serve really seriously. And to show that commitment, a few years ago, Kiwanis International established the Kiwanis Youth Protection Policies and Procedures. As club officers, we want you to know about these policies. We want you to know that they exist, and that all clubs and club members are expected to abide by these policies at all times. They're a protection to you, to your club, and to the youth we serve in our communities. Every year, your club is required to inform its members of the most updated Kiwanis Youth Protection Policies and Procedures. It's recommended that clubs do this every October at the start of the new Kiwanis administrative year during Kiwanis Youth Protection Month. Email your club members the Youth Protection Policies document. Schedule a program at a club meeting to review the policies and to answer questions that might arise. This can be done in person or virtually. I could even come to your meeting to cover them with your members. Once this is done, have your club secretary mark the completion of the task in the secretary dashboard in the online Kiwanis Connect system. I ask that all of you make this a priority at the start of your term in office. The Kiwanis Youth Protection Policies provide direct guidance on the behavior expectations of Kiwanians in the interactions that they have with the children they serve, both in person and on social media platforms. The policies are extensive, and they cover a lot of topics, everything from guidelines for transporting youth in vehicles, all the way to the requirements of chaperoning youth events that are single day or overnight. The guidance is clear, and it lays out the actions you should engage in and the actions you should not engage in. The Kiwanis Youth Protection Policies are serious and should be followed with due diligence by every Kiwanis member at all times. In your CLE guidebook, there's a link to the international website, and it contains a wealth of resources on youth protection, the policies, and tools for your club that you can use to train your members. The website also features information on a special hotline that you can call if you ever need to report child abuse, sexual assault, or a violation of the Kiwanis Youth Protection policies. So I recommend bookmarking this page and referring to it often as a resource. Kiwanians who serve as a Kiwanis advisor to an SLP club are often spending a lot of time with students, both inside and outside of their school environment. Because of this, every Kiwanis advisor is required to have a criminal history background check conducted by Safe Hiring Solutions and verified by Kiwanis International. These background checks must be conducted by Safe Hiring Solutions, and they are mandatory. There are no exceptions made, even if you have a background check from a school system, an employer, or even the military or federal government. A background check through Kiwanis International is valid for 2 years, and it costs $25. As Jeff mentioned earlier tonight, this expense can be paid by the Kiwanis Club either from the administrative or service accounts. Your club secretary is able to help members initiate their background check. Please be attentive to this task, especially if a member's background check is expiring. A lapse in a background check can lead to increased liability for you, your club, your member, and the youth in our community. And while there's currently no policy in place that requires all Kiwanians to have a background check, your club is encouraged to have any member who works closely with youth on a regular basis to have a background check through Safe Hiring Solutions. Again, this is a protection to your club, your members, and the youth you serve. If you have any questions about the Kiwanis Youth Protection policies, background checks for Kiwanis advisors, or if you have a youth protection issue you need advice on, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always available and happy to help clubs in need. Thank you so much for your time tonight and listening for this very important topic.
Thank you, Josh. And then we're back to Jeff Wolf for club insurance.
Thanks, Krista. As Josh said, the club background check is an important part of the liability protection for your club, and now we're going to just touch on liability insurance. As you probably know or may not know at this point, your Kiwanis Club is protected by liability insurance provided through Kiwanis International with Highland Insurance Group. A portion of every member's dues goes to cover the liability insurance for your club, as well as a mandatory director and officer insurance that is now part of covering your club's board of directors. There is a lot of great information available at the KI website at the link that Krista has highlighted in the document. But I'll just touch on a few things really quickly. Whenever your club has an event, they really should request a COI or certificate of insurance for that event from the Highland Group. That is as simple as filling out a form online or sending an email to kiwaniscert@highland.com. Don't worry, that address is available right on the website. Club secretaries, you will receive a packet in November with the new information for the 2020-2021 Kiwanis administrative year in regards to insurance. However, you can get the current packet online as a PDF, so you can take a look at it. I strongly encourage that, especially to take a look at the frequently asked questions at the back of the resource guide, because it covers a lot of Kiwanis specific projects and the questions related to those projects in terms of liability and who's covered and who's potentially at risk. Just a couple other things to keep in mind. There are other optional insurances that your club may purchase through Highland if you so choose. Things like crime insurance or accident insurance, but those are optional and not covered by the Kiwanis International policy. Every type of project is not covered by KI, so I strongly recommend that your board consider the insurance and risk aspect of a project before taking it on. Things like aircraft, watercraft, even automobile insurance is not necessarily covered by the policy. Those rely primarily on the insurance policies of those vehicles, and they're insured in and of itself. If you have a question specific to risk, we have an excellent risk manager in the district named April Gassler. She's a part of the Washington Club. She's mentioned there, and you can reach out to her with specific questions. If you have questions around the certificate of insurance or the club's payment of the liability insurance fee, you can certainly reach out to me with that. Just a couple of quick other notes. There are, which this comes up all the time for projects that are related to alcohol, Kiwanis clubs. The Highland Insurance does in fact cover if your Kiwanis club is involved in a project where alcohol is a primary function. However, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. That project has to have a maximum of 500 participants. It has to be a maximum of a one-day event. And the receipts of that event have to be less than 50% has to be alcohol. So other things have to be sold. If any of those criteria are not applicable, your club needs to purchase a separate liability insurance specifically for alcohol for that event. And then the Kiwanis insurance will act in excess of that policy. So keep that in mind as you're planning your projects. And with that, I will turn it over to Dave for awards and recognition.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm good, Krista, thank you. I'm an immediate past Lieutenant Governor in Division 12 and currently a member of the Leadership Development and Education Committee. Did you know that one of the 5 ingredients to a great Kiwanis club is notoriety? Now what that means is tooting your own horn, recognizing your members, and branding yourself. And the Capital District, Kiwanis International, and Kiwanis Children's Fund can all help you with awards and recognitions. On the KI site, the Kiwanis International website, if you search member resources under awards and recognition, there you will find information on Life Membership Award, the Legion of Honor Award for recognizing a member that's been in Kiwanis 25 or more years, and also a free award, yes, I said free, from Kiwanis International, the Ruby K Award, which recognizes members that have invited 5 or more new members to Kiwanis. On the Kiwanis Children's Fund website, under the Resources tab, you'll find information on scholarship opportunities for Key Club and Circle K. Also under the Children's Fund website, under the Give tab, G-I-V-E tab, and there under donor recognition, there's details about the George Hickson Fellowship, the Walter Zeller Fellowship, and also the Founders Circle, which again are incremental donations to the Kiwanis International Children's Fund. And in the district website, Kiwanis District website, under the recognition tab, there you will see distinguished recognition for divisions, clubs, and also it includes for members as well. There will be criteria added to this page, but the club's distinguished recognition program has a complete 6 of 8 criteria. And what you see there on item 5, that's going to be revised because of COVID-19 for the recognition for this Kiwanis year. But this is going to be the same distinguished recognition program for the 2020-21 Kiwanis year as well. There will be online submission forms that will be made available to you as well. And don't forget to create your own club recognition of members. Can be as simple as paper certificates, any form of award that you want to do your induction of new members, and celebrate birthdays and Kiwanis anniversaries as well. And one last point, I mentioned notoriety was one ingredient of a great club. In case you were wondering, the other 4 ingredients are service projects in your community, fun events, at least quarterly, growth and leadership development opportunities for your members, and sponsorships of the Kiwanis family, the service leadership programs as well. I hope that helps and appreciate you for being here. Back to you, Krista.
Thanks, Dave. Very good. All right. We only have a few minutes left, so I will be quick. But just on the last 2 pages of this document, we have events. So 2021, we absolutely hope that we can do all of these events. And there's the Capital District Mid-Year Conference, and we're also pairing that with the CKI District Convention. So that should be a really good time. Everybody loves Great Wolf Lodge, so we're going back in March. The International Convention, that's in June. Salt Lake City, that's also beautiful. See the mountains. And then the Capital District Kiwanis Convention is in August in Roanoke, Virginia. So just some public service announcements around some of the events happening next year in 2021. So, and also, just so you all know, again, we will send out this document within the next couple of days, or you can download it from the education section of the Kiwanis or the Capital District website. But we've also got some helpful website resources. So anything that you pretty much would want to link to, we've got it. So we've got some Capital District resources. You click on this, you go to the Capital District website and all of the other links that are available. All right. And if you want this specific document, you can go to Kiwanis Education. And we'll probably be making a few tweaks to it, but this blue box right here, you click here and it's going to download that same document right here. So just FYI, that is how you get to it. We'll also send it out in an email. However, if you want to download it, you certainly can. And then other links, we've got KI links, anything from logos to the Education Hub. We've got member resources. This Karen Schumacher gave me some excellent resources, so we put a lot of those in here. It's really good for membership information, so definitely take a look at those. And then finally, we've got any president, secretary, treasurer, resources here. Click on those, it's going to take you to that page, and there's a bunch of information there. Definitely good to see. So the other thing, just to note, just in case you have questions, you can contact a couple of people. Number one, member services at Kiwanis.org. You can also call them. They love to hear from you. And then if you have any questions, go ahead and use the link here. That goes specifically to my email address. I will get back to you with any questions that you have, or I will send them out to any of the team members that we have on the CLE education team. We will get back to you on any of those. If you just need to talk to us for a little time and say, you know what, I'm just having a problem with this secretary dashboard, email us, let's set up an appointment, we're gonna talk to you. We're gonna go through it and we're gonna make sure that you know what to do. So use us as resources, that's why we're here. We're not just here on this call, we're here throughout the year to make sure that you guys have the resources and the education that you need to go forward. So, if anybody has any other questions, can you please go ahead and put those in the chat, and I will monitor for just a few minutes. Anyone with questions? We've answered a couple of them throughout the time. So we've got, where do you find the visual background here? So that is, if you go to Kiwanis and you search on virtual background, or if you Google it and search on virtual background, that's where I found it. So any other specific questions? President, secretary, treasurer, membership committee. Does everybody want to go to bed? It's late. All right. Sure, you can applaud. Just do the round of applause right there. All right. Well, on behalf of your whole Capital District Education Committee, your governor, your upcoming governor, governor-elect, we hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful year. And again, if you need us, you make sure you contact us because we're here to serve you. So thank you so much for your time tonight, and we wish you the best. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. It's great.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Great job, Krista.
Great job.
Whew, that's long. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
You bet. Good night, everybody.